Today I'm going to read from my book, Downtown White Police, Chapter 13, titled The Do-Nothings. Now there's going to be radio calls and there's going to be dialogue, and some foul language. So if that bothers you, I don't know what to tell you. Just, you could leave now. But, real life has it in there, so, I'm not going to leave it out. The Do-Nothings. I am not writing this book to make friends or to rally one side or another to any cause. The fact is, I have no cause other than the protection of the law-abiding and innocent, and the preservation of our Constitution. I speak only the truth of matters, and when someone tells the truth, they are attacked by those who deny it and those who are complicit. So go ahead and attack me for it. I am built for that. Amongst my fellow police officers, during my tour in the Bridgeport Police Department, there were many various opinions of me. Some loved me, some liked me, some did not like me, and some even hated me. But they all respected me. There were many that the good cops considered do-nothings. As I stated earlier, they would keep out of trouble, never get complaints against them, turn a blind eye, get to calls late, give up on foot chases, or out of fear let criminals get away with violations of the law. It is easier and less dangerous to do the job this way. The criminals look at them as harmless, and because they keep out of trouble, they stay under the radar. They have no respect, and they know who they are. The do-nothings degrade the manpower of a police department severely because when only 10% of a police force is actually working, it places a heavy load on the good working cops. Standards of physical requirements in policing have been completely thrown out the window. Fat cops are the norm, small females, less than intelligent individuals, and those who were never meant to do the job, male or female. They have weakened the ranks of modern-day law enforcement. These are facts, and many cops today are merely role-playing at being a police officer. They love the uniforms, the perks, carrying a gun, and the power the badge gives them, but they do not earn any of it, nor the respect that comes with these. This may sound callous, politically incorrect, or macho, but if you were being attacked by someone intent on killing you, who would you want to come to your rescue? A 6-foot, 200-pound man like the one on the cover of this book with the credentials he packs, or a 5'2" female who means well, but will easily be overpowered herself? Or perhaps you would prefer the overweight donut eater who couldn't care less about helping you, because unless he is surrounded by many other police officers willing to do the work for him, it would involve too much effort on his part. Police officers on the job who are physically or mentally unprepared for the rigors of this profession often resort to using their weapons in situations that could be handled by other means, or they allow more damage to be done because they cannot handle the situation at all. They are not built to be cops. That's the truth. Now I'm going to have radio calls and dialogue. The village we speak of, for those of you who are not familiar with my book, is one of the many housing projects in the 80s in Bridgeport. This one was called Father Panic Village. This was the most dangerous housing project in the United States. And at most of the times during the 80s, it was in the top 10 in the United States as most dangerous. And it did make the #1 ranking at one time. So this is a dangerous place. And the hole I refer to later on in the book is the alleyway, notorious drug dealing alleyway. Radio call. Red 42. 42's on Hallett Street. 42, meet DB5 at the corner of Crescent and Seaview. 42, 10-4. We were sent by dispatch to meet 2 detectives to back them up on a case they were working on. We pulled up to their unmarked car, DB5. And we asked, "What's going on?" I asked them. One of these 2 men was a good street cop before he became a detective. The other one, however, was a jackass before his promotion, and even more of a jackass with his gold badge. "We need you guys to come with us into the village. We're looking for someone in particular." "All right, what are we getting ourselves into here?" Detective Jackass looked at me sideways. "All we need is for you guys to be there." "Well, can you give us an idea about what this is?" We may be able to help you out. We know just about everything going on there. We practically live there. My partner asked, leaning over me to make eye contact with Jackass. The other detective started to talk, but was cut off. It's a drug dealer. Yeah, what else? There's plenty of drug dealers in the village. I'll let you know on a need-to-know basis. Oh my God, just lead the way. We'll fucking back you up, I said incredulously. We followed the detectives into the village. God forbid they do it on their own without us to protect them. We did not mind doing this, but I did not like this vague explanation of what we were going into. The FBI and DEA were more open and communicative than these particular detectives from our own department on this one occasion. This was not normal practice by our detectives, but this one was being more of an asshole than he usually was. For the most part, our detective bureau was good at what they did and actually solved 87% of their homicide cases. That is as good as, or perhaps even better than, any department in the country. And at this time, our homicide rate was tops in the nation, and we were always in the top 10 in per capita homicides, rivaling New York City at the time, which was tops in the nation. Nothing to brag about, but just gives you an idea of the dangerous city this used to be. Both police vehicles pulled up in front of Building 33, and as usual, denizens were milling about. The typical calls of 50, 50 echoed. We're headed up to an apartment and we want you to take the door down. What? You couldn't tell me this before? What the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't even tell me you had a warrant. I guess that wasn't a need to know. That's him! That's him! Motherfucker, get him! One of the detectives screamed at me while pointing to a running black male who was the subject of this warrant. My partner and I instinctively started the foot chase. We ran together, and while we were running, I glanced back to see how closely the detectives were following us. They weren't even running. During the foot chase, we came to an alleyway where my partner took another route to cut off the runner while I remained 50 feet behind the suspect. I was making progress and closing the gap between us, and into the hole we went. The crowd said, "Run, DJ, run! Whitey can't catch you!" At this point, I caught up with the suspect and tripped him up by kicking at his legs. He went crashing face first into the pavement. I pounced on the suspect, who resisted until I made him kiss the concrete one more time. This calmed him down, and I cuffed him, and he was searched. He was in possession of a handgun, a .45, in a plastic container filled with vials of crack. My partner, who was breathing heavily, reached us and helped me stand the suspect up. Being blocks away from our police car, I keyed my hand radio, but before I spoke into it, I turned to the gawking crowd and told them, "Whitey can't catch him, huh? 42's on. We need transport for an arrest in the hole, FPV. DB5's on, standby, we're on the way. 42, did you copy that? DB5 en route to your location for transport. 10-4 radio, tell them to step it up, large crowd gathering." The detectives finally pulled up, but stayed at a safe distance just outside the hole. We actually had to walk through the crowd over to them with our prisoner. After a few menacing looks by me and my partner, the onlookers were no longer a problem. "Good, you got him. Did you search him?" "Of course I searched him. Anything on him?" "Yeah, I'm going to do my report and tag it as evidence." "Give it to us. We'll do the paperwork. Put him in the back." We put the cuffed prisoner in the back of the car, and I showed the detective the gun and the container filled with the large amount of crack. "We got plenty to charge him with. Intent to sell," the detective said triumphantly. "Well," I said, "I'm going to write my report, and you could write yours. After I tag the evidence, you could do whatever you want with it." Detective Jackass was not happy, but me and my partner turned our backs on him and made the long walk back to our police car, preferring to walk now rather than sit in the back with the dirtbag drug dealer. The next day after this arrest, we were called into the detective bureau. "You guys, come into my office," Detective Jackass said. "I got a copy of your report here." "Yeah, good. What of it?" "You make it sound like you and your partner did everything." "What are you talking about?" I asked him. His face was beet red. "It was our warrant." and it should have been our pinch. Okay, so you made the warrant out and you transported the prisoner. I gave you credit for that in my report. Detective Jackass actually ripped up a copy of my report in front of me and told me, do it over. Now my blood was pumping. Who the fuck do you think you are? That better not be the original. I'm not going to write it again because the report states exactly what happened. You assholes didn't do anything and you fucking know it. You know better than to do that in front of me. It's only a copy. I was only making a point. We got your guy for you. That's what we did, and that's what I reported. I pointed at the ripped report on the floor. Don't do that shit again. Next time you want two cops to back you up, don't call us.